Hi, everyone, and welcome to Manny's Paranormal, where I tell true paranormal stories, stuff that actually happened to me, family members, people I know. Um, so, I made another video talking about a haunted house that I lived in when I was about 16 years old, and some creepy ass shit happened in that house. And a lot of it happened to me because at the time, my dad was helping my grandfather build a house up in Ione, California. And so when he got home from work on Friday, him and my stepmother would pack up and leave, and they'd be gone Friday night, Saturday night, and they would come home Sunday. So I had the place all to myself. I'm I'm a teenager, you know what I mean? I'm making the best of it, you know what I mean? Friends over, parties and stuff. And but then when everybody would leave, I'd be there by myself, and I used to hear scratching in the wall. The dog used to like lunge at walls and corners, and there was nothing there. And one time I fell asleep and I had stuff in the oven, and something shook me awake. Just a bunch of stuff happened to me because I was always there by myself. So the weirdest shit that ever happened in that house. It sounds unbelievable, but it happened. And I was 16, and me and a friend were waiting for my cousin to come pick us up. We were going to go to this party, and he said he'd be there like 6:30, 7 o'clock, and we're anxious. We're all ready to go, and he didn't show up. He didn't come at 6:30 and come at 7. Around 7:30, we're just like, well, we're just gonna walk. It was quite a ways, but we figured, we lived in the area a long time. If we start walking, we're going to run into somebody. And we did. About halfway. A friend of mine, Mark, picked us up, and we all went together. So by the time we walked halfway and then we got picked up and everything, now it's probably around, I don't know, 8 something, maybe close to 9. And, we're having a good time. There's music, and, there's girls, and we're like teenagers do. And my cousin shows up, and he is pissed off. And I'm like, you're pissed off? I said, you didn't show up. We waited for you and waited for you. You're over an hour late, so we just left. And he was like, quit fucking around. We just came from your house, and you were playing a game with us. And I was like, dude, I've been here. We walked, and then Mark picked us up. I said, I've been here at the party. He goes, well, good luck. Go home tonight. And I go, what do you mean? He said, they pulled up, and it was him, his buddy, and they had one other guy with them. They pulled up, and they said, when they pulled up in front of my house, there was this walkway, and the door was on the right. And they said the door was open, the lights were on, and music was going. They thought we were there. So they come walking up the walkway, and they said as soon as they got close, the door slammed, the lights went off, and the music stopped. And I'm like, fuck, dude, I gotta go stay at this place tonight, And they said, so they go back to the car. As soon as they get in the car, the door opens, the music comes on, and the lights go on. And they said that happened like 3 or 4 times. And then they got pissed. They're like, look, you guys fucking around. We're going to leave without you. And they didn't get any response, so they left. Then when they got there, I'm there. Me and my buddy are there. So now I get kind of freaked out and scared because that's where I got to sleep tonight. You know what I mean? But I'm thinking, maybe they're fucking with me or whatever, So I kind of put it out of my mind. I had a good time and everything. And then my buddy Mark took us all home, and he dropped off my other buddy. And then he goes, I'll come over and hang out a little bit. I'm like, all right, because everybody knew, man, it was party at my house from Friday, Saturday. Everything had to be back to normal Sunday because I don't know what time they were coming home. So then, and the closer we get, I start thinking about this shit. I'm thinking, fuck, man. I don't want to go over there. So I'm telling him, hey, man, why don't you just stay the night? And he's like, nah, man, I got to work tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, fuck. So then it kind of got pushed out of my mind. You know what I mean? And we're talking about the party and girls and this and that. And I lived kind of towards the end of this block. So we're driving and everything. We come around the corner and the fucking lights are on in my house. And I turn them lights off. And as we're coming down the street, I see the fucking door close. I'm fucking scared. So we pull up in front and he goes, man, there's somebody in your house. And I go, man, I hope somebody's in the house. Anyway, we when we got there, by the time we got closer, the door shut and then everything went off. And I'm like, oh, fuck, So we don't know what to do. So I said, let's just go in and turn the lights on. If we have to, we'll call the police. We go in, we went through that whole fucking house, nobody in there. All the doors were locked from the inside. I had to use my key to get in the front door. And I'm like, come on, man, why don't you hang out and stay the night? He's like, nah, dude. He goes, I'll hang out with you for a little while. But he goes, I'm out. You know what I mean? So he leaves. So now, and this ties into one of those other stories. So now, man, I'm freaked out. I bring my dog in. Dog would always come in. He was this, his name was Barry. It was this Chow Chow. Big. They look kind of like a bear. They got a purple tongue. So I'm sitting there. I'm watching TV. You know, I mean, that kid and the dog, man. He didn't react this night the way he did. Sometimes he would just start growling. And his fucking hair would stand, and he would lunge at shit. He didn't do that, but he was acting spooky. You know what I mean? And I'm sitting there on the couch and I'm watching TV and I'm getting all creaked up, and I got hungry. I'm like, fuck, man. So I go and I'm digging through the freezer, and my dad used to buy, I used to like those little pot pies, but they're frozen, so they take like fucking an hour to cook, you know? This is before microwaves, man. You just put them in the oven and you just wait. That's how it was. But I was hungry, you know, I had been drinking and shit. So I go in there, I put 2 pot pies in the oven, and I just start watching TV, you know, and I'm looking behind me and shit, you know. I don't know what's and then I get kind of sleepy and I fall asleep. And these things are in the oven. And I'm asleep, you know what I mean? And I feel somebody push me, like shake me, and I just kind of rolled over, leave me alone, you know, because I was half asleep. And then something really shook me, and I woke up, and then I realized I'm the only one in the house. And when I opened my eyes, the whole fucking house is full of black smoke. Those pot pies were burning the fuck up. They were just smoke, just charcoal. And I got up, I was like, oh fuck, you know? So I opened all the doors and windows and shit. And it was weird because I always thought that whatever was in that house was fucking evil. It, you know, scratching in the walls and the dog lunging at it and shit. But that night, whatever it was, woke my ass up before I asphyxiated or caused a fire in the house or whatever could have happened, you know? And I was talking to people about that, you know, like fucking, you know, like the beginning of the movie The Exorcist was some scratchy shit in the wall, you know? So, and we kind of came to the conclusion that fucking whatever was in that house just didn't want the house to burn down or nothing, so I have people to fuck with. That's the one thing I could come up with. But yeah, we lived there for probably another year after that and had all kinds of shit, creepy shit happen. But anyway, that's today's story about the haunted house I lived in when I was 16 years old. All right, everybody, if you like these kind of stories, maybe like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. And everybody have a great day or night whenever you're listening to this. Thanks.